Good morning, everybody. I'm Rev Rob Banaszak, and I am the pastor of the Institute for Spiritual Development, and I would like to welcome you to our Sunday service, our Sunday celebration service, which we have been offering here online for the last almost 2 years. So thank you for joining us in this space, because this is a space that is not physical, but it certainly is spiritual. It's the space of our imagination, a space where metaphysically anything can happen. And right here, what is happening is that we are the community of the Institute for Spiritual Development. The Institute for Spiritual Development is a God-centered metaphysical church and community dedicated to our growing spiritual awareness in an atmosphere of unconditional love and acceptance. And so to you, I say, welcome home. And now, let us pray. This is a day that divinity has made. The all is divinity. We are the all. We are divinity. This is a day that we have made. Of course we rejoice. Of course we are glad. This is a day that we'll make together. We can rejoice together. We can be glad together. We are together. And so it is. Now let us recite together the Lord's Prayer, the Lamsa translation, which will appear on your screen in a moment. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as in heaven, so on earth. Give us bread for our needs from day to day, and forgive us our offenses as we forgive our offenders. And do not let us enter into temptation, but deliver us from error. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. Amen. And now let us recite together the principles of understanding that unite us, which will appear on your screen in a moment. And I invite you to listen to them as they're spoken, if you haven't heard them before, or if you have heard them before, to really take the moment to say the words clearly or listen to them clearly, because they are the foundation of the Institute for Spiritual Development and all of the spiritual work that we do and believe in. We believe in infinite intelligence. We believe that infinite intelligence expresses itself in all existence and in humanity as a manifestation of divine love. We affirm the unity of all life everywhere. We believe in communion with all planes of existence and that meaningful communication flows from this connection. We affirm the divine right of each individual to seek the truth in accordance with their consciousness, and that living in harmony with that truth defines true spirituality. We affirm that spiritual unfoldment is progressive and unending, and that the doorway to reformation is never closed against any soul. We believe that the highest morality is contained in the mandate, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. We affirm the personal responsibility of the individual and that we choose our happiness or unhappiness as we apply the laws of the universe. We affirm that life is eternal and that the existence and personal identity of the individual continue after the change called death. We believe the ultimate expression of God in our life is unconditional love of our neighbors and ourselves. We accept that the living gifts of prophecy and healing recorded in all sacred scripture are an affirmation of divine spirit working through us. And now we enter what is the wholeness and well-being portion of our service. And so let us pause to silently reflect on the people in our lives or the circumstances in our world that we would like to send some healing energy to. And so we pray, O divine healer, we call upon your power to bless us with your loving embrace. And we ask that you bestow wellness to those names and circumstances in our lives we have reflected on and now speak aloud. Your word is our perfection. As we share our wellness, we realize we too are well. And so it is. So we're going to mix things up for us a little today. I would like to now offer a prayer of transition during this portion of the service for Roberta Sachs, who used to attend ISDDC here several years ago. And so we pray. Father, Mother God, we ask you to welcome into your heavenly embrace the eternal essence of Roberta Sachs. May she be welcomed by all the spirit realm, and may by you, and also by you, O source of all of the realms, with open and joyous hearts, the hearts that we long to return to. May she and all whom she loved and who loved her be at peace in their hearts, for love never dies. Love is eternal. And so it is. And so we're going to meditate after our message today, and I think you'll understand why when you hear it. Our reading today is a poem by Walt Whitman. As the time draws nigh, glooming, a cloud, a dread beyond of I know not what, darkens me. I shall go forth, I shall traverse the states a while, but I cannot tell whither or how long. Perhaps soon, some day or night, while I am singing, my voice will suddenly cease. O book, O chance, must all then amount to this? Must we barely arrive at this beginning of us? And yet, it is enough, O soul. O soul, we have positively appeared. That is enough. It's a poem by Walt Whitman. So you know the saying, everything old is new again, or everything new was old before. There's a new television show that is about to premiere on HBO. Well, it's kind of new. It's actually a reboot of an old show. And it's a show that was tremendously popular back in its heyday. Maybe you've heard of that tiny little cultural juggernaut of the late 1990s called Sex and the City. So for nearly 20 years, if not more, we have been in the age of reboots and reimaginations and remakes of beloved pop culture entertainment. And I'm in an age where it feels like the original was just a couple of months ago. Why are they remaking it again? Some of these remakes and reboots pick up where the original left off, as a sequel that features the same characters who have aged or matured. Some seek to restart from the beginning with a fresh new cast in all of the familiar roles, and sometimes new interpretations of the core story of the show. But a reboot or remake of a favorite TV show or film usually includes a pretty important component that aligns it with what made it most recognizable. Its title, its name, its brand. The title of the Sex and the City reboot is, wait for it, And Just Like That. Come again? And Just Like That. Now, I had a reaction to the title, and I did notice some online pushback. Well, is that the same show or not? Or is that a deliberate attempt for some reason to distance from the original material? So I began to ponder this title and these questions and realized it's a brilliant title. I mean, is it the same show or not? Well, yes and no, of course. Yes, because many, if not most, of the original characters are returning. So yes, we will have some familiarity with the characters and where they've come from. But no, it can't be the same, because how could these characters now in their 50s be the same as they were in their 30s? Are we the same in our 50s as we are in our 30s? The second question, is it a deliberate attempt to distance itself from the original material? Well, kinda. Wouldn't they want to manage expectations of diehard fans, especially when the very public social media frenzy has just happened about the lack of return of one of the most beloved characters? If you don't watch the show, that is Samantha, played by Kim Cattrall. But given that, excuse me, I come away thinking that the title of this show is the perfect indicator that this show is not that show and is not trying to be that show. Because in life, and just like that, you are 55, not 35. And just like that, you've lost contact or had a fallout with one of your best friends of another time. And just like that, Sex and the City has become And Just Like That. Now, you've heard me speak several times, or at least open many of these homilies, about how much I trip out on time. It does keep slipping into the future. And just like that is a phrase we often use to signal a pivotal transition in our life timeline as it slips into the future. Or more specifically, this irreversible shift in the cycle of our life. It's a shift that feels sudden. It feels sudden to us regardless of whether it was sudden or random, or if it was the culmination of long unfolding circumstances, both intentional and related, and all the events leading up to it. And we've had several pivotal experiences within our world and community that definitely fit this idea for me. And just like that, the ISD Church here in Washington is on the market. And just like that, our friend Michelle Loy is gone from this earth plane. And just like that, nearly 40 years of spiritual community in our building is ending. They all feel disorienting. Even if we planned for them, or even if we knew they might be happening. For everybody, in all areas of our life. And just like that, it's 2021. And just like that, it's autumn. And just like that, it's Halloween or Thanksgiving or Christmas. And just like that, my kid is in grade school, or graduating high school, or moving away to college. And just like that, I've lost my job. And just like that, I'm retired. And just like that, my marriage is over. And just like that, my wife has died. And just like that, I've reached my life's end. But it's really all about perspective. And clearly this television show, or at least its title, really got me thinking. When I hear it from others or say it or feel it myself, and just like that, comes out as a reflection or an assessment, a guidepost or a marker in my life, in our life. It's a reality check. How did this all go by so fast? Was I paying attention? Was I aware and conscious of my choices and my decision making? Was I present for myself and for others along the way? What did it mean? What does it mean that I'm here now? And the more I think about this, the more I think that it's an opportunity to claim the power that I have in my life experiences. Because when I reach this point and I'm saying, and just like that, here I am, I can choose a vision of my life, an expanded vision. I can see, I can understand, I can claim my role, my part, my responsibility of everything that took place leading up to just like that. This expansive view of my life, my experiences, my circumstances, of course, reveals none of it happened just like that. This expansive view shows me the magic and the spirit and the guidance that I've had along the way. From this view, I can see the richness and connectedness of everything that is happening that has brought me here. With this view, I can understand my life as being flowing cycles or seasons, each uniquely perfect and whole, all of them contributing to my wholeness. So I've recently attached myself to a concept that it's not the cycles or the seasons themselves where divinity resides. It's what is within those seasons and cycles. I listened to this phenomenal Heart and Soul podcast. It's from the BBC, and it just got posted on Friday. That took the listener on a journey to Ise Jinto, which is a 1,300-year-old Shinto sacred space deep within the Japanese forest. I cannot recommend this episode enough. Shinto is an animism spirituality, so it views all things as being animated, being brought to life from within by a divine source. And so when the reporter is talking to a Shinto priest who's taken him on this very, very sacred journey into the forest, the only things they can hear are the sounds in nature. They can hear the waterfall. They can hear the birds chirping, the leaves rustling. And so the reporter asks the priest, is this where the divinity is? Is the divinity in the waterfall? Is it in the birds? Is it in the nature, the leaves, the earth? And the priest says, that's not quite it. The spirit is in the flow. The divine is in the space, in the movement of the birds in flight, or in the sound traveling from their song. It is not the water itself, it's the flow of the water as it cascades down as a waterfall. It's an unfolding of our journey. It's not the journey. The universe is not you and me. The universe is that space that is infinite between you and me. And that space between you and me is what connects you and me. It's the divine glue. It's the divine substance that makes us, as creations of spirit, whole. Ise Jinto and all of its structures, its temples and its paths and its bridges, it's completely rebuilt, completely, every 20 years. It's been rebuilt for 1,300 years, every 20 years. That means everything. That means they even make new tools to make the new structures every 20 years. So it's always in a 20-year cycle. Always moving. And so the spirit spark, the divine spark, whatever you want to call it, The sacredness of this space is not the structure. It's not even the forest. It's all that is happening in that 20-year cycle to make it that way. The dedication, the work, the intention. This is the divinity. This is where God resides. One of my favorite online meditation hosts and teachers and leaders is David G. And he calls this sacred space where the divine unites us as one, as the gap. And he illustrates this by using the breath of life as a metaphor. So spirit dwells not in the breath itself, but in the pause between each part of the breath. The gap. When I inhale and pause, that's where spirit is. When I exhale and pause, that's where spirit is. And that's where we can focus our meditation. That's where we can focus our experience or look for the divine in all. And really, I felt like that's how Walt Whitman was experiencing soul in the poem today. He begins in dread, the dread of the unknown that is before him. How long will this experience last anyway? And then, what if I am in full-on bliss, singing, and I lose my voice? And just like that, it's over. But then he answers his own question. And yet it is enough, O soul, O soul. And yet it is enough. O soul, we have positively appeared, and that is enough. It's in the being. It's in the space. On this earth plane between birth and death where divinity resides. Don't dread anything ahead or regret anything behind. Because our soul unfolds, expresses, and becomes no matter what. And yes, just like that, one season of unfoldment concludes, and yes, just like that, another cycle of unfoldment begins. How can we, how will we empower ourselves by claiming the power of knowing those seasonal transitions? And just like that, we have a new way of being a community. It will have involved some loss, some grief, some holding on. But guess what? It can evolve creativity and inspiration. And just like that, we've created something amazing. And just like that, my homily is over. Thank you. And so I wanted to make some time today after this talk to go to that space, to go to the in-between, to go to the gap, to go to the flow. So let's take a few moments now, let's make a few moments now to meditate. So if you want to sit back and relax and maybe turn off your video screen, And we are going to start by focusing on our breath as we always do. We are going to take a deep breath, inhale. And hold. And notice that pause and exhale. Inhale again. And hold. Pause and exhale. Now when you exhale, pause. Notice the gap. Inhale. Hold. Notice that gap. And exhale. Notice the gap. Inhale. Hold. And exhale. And so we just allow our breathing to return to its natural state. We stay conscious of its coming in and out, of its pause, of its exhaling. And just relax more and more with every breath we draw. In that pause and every breath we exhale. Breathing deeply. Let's imagine our eyes just closing deeper and deeper. So our lids are closed, but we can imagine our eyes deepening and taking us more and more into ourselves. And as we've gone deeper, we suddenly find ourselves in a beautiful universe that we've discovered deep within ourselves. We float and realize our bodies have disappeared temporarily while we are in this space. It's comfortable, it feels safe, it feels wonderful. And while we're here, we notice. Even without our physical bodies, we notice the essence of another who has joined us in this space. We say hello. We don't need our hands to wave, we just wave with our thoughts. And float. And suddenly discover in that exchange that the exchange itself is where our divine connection was. we feel it flowing. As we realize this, our own way of feeling connected, whether it's flowing like a river, whether it's electrical connection, is how we experience this. And as we experience this flow or connection back and forth, there's an understanding that I am you, and you are me. And the source is this magical space in between. And we recognize it, not just with one of the beings here, but with all of the beings who join us today. Whether it's live in real time, whether it's on the recorded version, we are all one. And spirit connects us. And feeling this connection and basking in its wonder, we choose to return to our physical bodies, and we choose to remember that feeling of connection even as we gaze on our physical selves in a Zoom window. We'll look, we'll feel it, and we'll know. It'll be the same when we walk out of our own homes. We'll look, we'll see, we'll feel, and we will know the divine connection. And so we become aware of our breath again, the breath that has anchored us here, coming in, that sacred pause, and exhaling and flowing out. Again, in and exhale. And let's take one breath quickly and open our eyes. And as we do, we return and see each other in that window. We sense that connection and are excited to go explore out in the world where that gap might be, and to see where, and just like that, might bring us and inspire us to be. Thank you so much for being flexible with me and working with a new meditation space to accompany the homily today. I hope you were able to sense that space or understand the gap. For me, it's a fleeting concept that kind of is there and goes away, but I love when I can feel it and get it. So hopefully you'll be able to do that this coming week. Thank you again. And so it is now time for the prosperity portion of our service. And hopefully you've been doing this because Reverend Martha has asked us to do this every day during the month. That's to think about the abundance of gifts in your life, including the Institute for Spiritual Development. And then allowing yourself to feel that deep appreciation for that abundance so that we can always proclaim divine love always has, and divine love always will answer all of our needs. And we can bring forth our gifts with joy in our hearts, because we know God will bless them and always blesses us. And so, of course, you all know this by now. You can make your weekly offering, you can make your monthly offering, you can make any offering through our virtual collection plate, and I will put that link up for you right now. And also express my deep gratitude for always being so generous, supporting us. And demonstrating your very powerful commitment and dedication to our spiritual community, which is always home here. And I will offer a few announcements as well. First of all, I want to thank all of my colleagues and friends and participants in the beautiful memorial celebration service for our friend Michelle Roy, which took place yesterday. We had a few people in person, and we had lots online on Zoom and on YouTube, and I know several have watched it since then on our YouTube channel. But the team that helped put it together, Reverend Olivia Hunter and Reverend Steve Evelyn and Reverend Fran Wright and Sylvia Wright and Reverend James DiBiasio and Pamela Smith and her daughter Claire, and all of Michelle's friends and colleagues. Everybody went above and beyond the call of duty to show our love, mostly for each other, because she now knows it wherever she is. But what a joy it was to see just how much she was loved, and sometimes in ways we didn't know or expect from her. So what a beautiful day it was. Thank you all for being there and supporting and loving our friend as we miss her. And of course, we've got several things coming up in the coming weeks. First of all, we have our book discussion group continuing on Tuesday. We've been discussing or tangentially discussing the Celestine prophecy, most particularly discussing its place in our lives thus far. So if you're going to join us, you don't have had to have read the book, although we're working with the first 4 chapters, I believe. So if you do have the book, it's a great read. It's an easy read. But if you don't, we either put passages up for us to read together and discuss, or we'll talk about something related to the book. So the conversation is the most important thing, and the source of the conversation we can kind of pull in at any time. So please join us for our Tuesday night book discussion group session at 7:30 p.m. The link will be on the website. We will also have our Wednesday evening meditation. Please join. It's the last one of the month, and always good to take some time in the stillness to reflect and be, and to explore the gap that we are just discovering, the space, that divine flow. So please, Wednesday at 7:30, again, the link will be posted. I am going to allow Reverend DiBiasio to unmute himself, if he would, and to talk about what's happening next Sunday right in our sanctuary. And Reverend Jim, if you're here, are you here? And if not, I can definitely do it, but you are here. We did have a long day yesterday. So what is happening next Sunday at 11 a.m. in the sanctuary is our final in-person service in our beautiful building. We've been talking about it for weeks, reflecting on it for weeks, months. And it is now time to come and say goodbye. And we hope that you will all be able to be there to share in the memories and the ancestry and to release what we need to so that we can move forward to our future, so that we can discover, and just like that, we're in a new and wonderful space that also made every use of the old knowledge and ancestry that we have. Next Sunday at 11 a.m., it'll be our final service as well as deconsecration of the building. We hope you'll be there. We are requiring COVID-19 vaccinations, so please come prepared to show your vax card and wear masks only indoors because they are still required per District of Columbia guidelines. But it's going to be a very special day. We're really looking forward to it and hope you will all be there. And because I know that she is not necessarily able to talk today because of some issues, Reverend Martha has, as I mentioned before, been talking about reminding us to think of ISD every day. And when we do, put whatever we need to do in our red envelope. It's not that much. Whatever you have, that thought passes your mind. And today it should pass a lot. So, there's no reason why you couldn't put a few pennies or a few nickels, whatever. Collect it in that envelope and then send it to us in whatever way you would like. We can do it through the website. You can contact me and I can help you walk you through it. You can send it to us, although our address will be changing. But if you can think about ISD and just put a little bit in your envelope, your red envelope, $1 a day if you can, whatever you have. It will help continue to energize the community and the future of the community. So I really thank Reverend Martha for this idea. I think it's great. And it's certainly a way to be mindful of all that we do and all that we are. So it's almost time for our order of service, and we are going to return to our order of service by speaking our congregational prayer, which is going to be today our prayer of stewardship, which you will see on your screen. And this is one that really emphasizes the responsibility as we move forward for the community that we all share. It's not just Reverend Jim as the founder or the ministers or the board. This is a creation that we will all be working on and creating together. So please join me. It's all about stewardship, and this is our prayer of stewardship. Infinite Spirit, at this blessed gathering today, we celebrate the divinity of all that is. We honor the Institute for Spiritual Development as a living entity brought to extraordinary life by the presence of everyone here now, by the essence of the ancestors who have come before us, and by the imagination of the souls who will come after us, carrying her into the future. We ask you to give us strength to heed her call of stewardship, so together we can make her who she was created to be, a beacon guiding all spiritual seekers to a deepening connection to the divine within. May we always encourage, inspire, and energize one another in sharing our gifts, our talents, and resources to ensure our spiritual community's life, longevity, and legacy. Amen. So it is. All right, I'm going to switch cameras here and put you all on gallery view so we can have a few message readings. What do you think? I'm still here. So move around. I'm also looking at everybody here. I can see who Spirit is drawing me to. Here we are. Hello, everybody. So I think I've allowed everybody to unmute. Virginia Wake, may I come to you?
Yes, please. Thank you.
So this is kind of a springtime song, but I'm seeing as I came to you, I heard when the red robin comes bobbing along. I'm way too young to even know that song, but I do. So just so y'all know. So I see the freshness of springtime. I see the flight of this indicator that quite often says to all of us, "Oh my gosh!" And just like that, there's the robins from the winter or after the winter because it's springtime. And I am sensing that this robin, reveals a journey very similar where we've gone through kind of a winter of, I won't say hibernation because we're not in a period, we're not going to be hibernating anytime soon, but we are going to be kind of reflecting and rejuvenating during the time for I think emergence as time goes on. And so as this robin, you are part of this. And I really sense that it is bobbing along. If you let it, it doesn't have to be anything more serious than that. It simply can be you're bobbing along. And just like that, it's spring. And just like that, what we need to have had done is done. And so I'll thank you in advance because I believe that that's something that you are a big part of. And again, just there's a lot of fun people and there's a lot of fun experiences. So we can just do it. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Crone Heston, hello.
Hi, Rob.
Good to see you. Good to see you. Yesterday, So there's a Muppet character, actually a Sesame Street character. Remember he was like a game show host. His name was Guy Smiley, and he had like that really hard jawline, and he had the microphone, and he had that real hey, game show boys, welcome everybody to the game show. So he was a host. He was kind of like a consummate host. He was so I think that what I'm seeing now is your energy being expressed as a host, as a welcomer, as someone to say, hey, welcome. And just so here are the rules. This is how we play this game. This is how we work here. So this is a big pivotal role for you. It's a greeting role. I think in our physical space, it was kind of like an ushering role, but this is something different. This is like an MC more than it is an usher. So I think that maybe this is your opportunity to, because I don't see a specific space for it, I think it's the time to create one. So some kind of ambassador that will be here for our community, that can greet and meet and show people the way. And again, kind of assert what we need to do to be effective and be the community that we are. So I'm excited about it because I don't really know what it is, but I think that Spirit's saying you are able to figure this out. You're able to kind of decide and create and present something that is going to work and be interesting and fun for everybody that encounters you, because you had that energy already. So welcome to your new role, Guy Smiley.
Thank you so much.
And more, may I come to you?
Please.
And everybody says this when they talk to you, but one thing we miss is that healing touch of yours. So hopefully we will get a chance to feel that again sometime soon. It is so great to see you though every week. So thank you for being here and for always being so dedicated. I'm seeing like I wanted to say I saw a mother and her baby lion cubs, but I'm actually just seeing the baby lion cub just kind of tumbling about, almost almost having broken free from the watchful eye of mom. And, I'm working through this now, but I'm seeing you as that baby lion cub. So, you kind of just, you're in a space where if you haven't, you're experiencing some sort of rebirth, some sort of reemergence as this kind of fierce little creature with a great amount of potential, and who, finds herself needing to kind of be away from, a watchful eye so that I can figure some things out on my own. I see this as a really exciting experience for you. It's one that I don't think we get very often, the more childhood is behind us, but it's a great time to look for those opportunities if you are not in the middle of it now. So, it's a childlike wonder. It's one that may seem like it requires supervision, but you don't need supervision. You just need to explore a little bit. So I think it's about exploring and knowing that, as you grow, it gets bigger and you get more fierce. And but the fun's going to really happen right now. So go exploring. Don't take mama with you or whatever that figure is that's an authority figure. You don't need it. So have fun.
Thank you.
Wendy, may I come to you?
Yes, please. Thank you.
So I keep bringing up the hair, but the hair means something today. So I feel like you've answered this call, and the call was Rapunzel, let down your hair. So it seems like it seems almost basic that what we're feeling and seeing from you, or what you're feeling from the inside, is that's what it is. It's the answer to that. Like someone said, let down your hair, and I'm being, it's funny, but I mean it metaphorically. Like you've done that. It's down. So now it's kind of being careful about who's going to be climbing up, because you are in a leadership. I mean, you're a mom already. You have people around you that rely on you to be guiding them in some way. And so that does require the hair being down. And it also requires some judiciousness about who gets to climb, because you don't want to get it tangled and you don't want to cut it off. So, it's a matter of kind of keeping it, again, the hair metaphor, but the whole conditioning thing, it really is a matter of taking care, because it is definitely a source of strength and a source of answering the call and understanding that's what it means. So
awesome. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Oh, Sylvia, may I?
Yes, good morning. Thank you.
How are you? So I just was moving some drawers around yesterday, and one of the things I moved around in its little plastic bag is my jangly little
Your little hip scarf.
So at the time, because I was working on today's service, I resisted the temptation to put it on and dance around the house. That'll come after this. We're done here. But what that receiving that and knowing that it was given from a space that you saw and you responded in a way that was so empathetic and so meaningful is this, it's like this indicator. It's another guidepost. It's another place along the cycle of where you are now that is saying, this is a good thing for you to see a situation. This is something you don't have to go look for. So I'm not advising, or Spirit's not saying go out and look for ways to make people happy or give them gifts. What I think Spirit's saying is become aware of this awareness, and because that's what makes it so magical. It's like when a lot of times when people feel like, oh, I don't like to buy Christmas presents because then I feel like it's forced. But boy, isn't it great throughout the year to go somewhere and find something for somebody that, you may or may not be close to, but just you go, wow, that's the perfect thing. So it's in this whole mindset. And I know you know what that feeling is because I was a recipient of it, but it's like, that's that beautiful space that you're being invited to embody for a while. It's not a direct order because it's your option, but you receive joy from this kind of awareness. And so Spirit's encouraging you to kind of tap into that and draw from it. Okay.
Thank you. And enjoy.
I will. I'm chomping at the bit now. So, all right. Dave and Claudia, may I?
Yes, thank you.
May I give you a reading as a couple?
Sure.
Just let me. So, several years now ago, and I probably bring it up all the time, but it is so cute and so transformative. When we had our retreat and you guys took the picture, we made superhero costumes. The whole weekend was about becoming greater versions of ourselves. And so we started on Friday, and throughout the weekend, we pieced together our identities that were not secret. They were very much not the opposite of that. And when we had the beautiful opportunity to get a photograph of you guys together and to create this picture where it looks like, you guys are flying in the sky together. Someone was holding out their capes. It was so beautiful. And this soaring as a unit is just a glorious gift that you give to each other every day. It's a gift that you give to everybody else around you because you are demonstrating a truth that people really need to see and experience. And it's not just about being on the ground. It's about having the courage to soar together, to explore your spiritual experiences together, to sit here on a service or in a Zoom meeting or in a class, and to share. And I'm giving this reading as a couple, but I also understand that this is your individual journeys. Clearly, are still your individual journeys, and so you share it together, but it's still you help each other with each other's individual ones as much as you do with your journey. So this is gorgeous. I really feel like this is soaring. It's up and away for both of you. It continues to be as it's always been. And I think the message really is to just be conscious and aware that this is a gift that I'm not going to say it's rare, but it's everybody certainly hasn't opened themselves up to receiving it. So it may feel like, well, I don't understand why they're not in that space, or we can do this. Why can't others? This is a matter of you just kind of understanding, respecting, and then, if presented the opportunity, to just kind of help people along to realize it within themselves. So, because this is something that both came from experience and age, but also, is a gift, not just a talent that you're developing. You might have others that you would not normally think would need that kind of experience. Maybe younger people who need that wisdom before they, it's not just people who are your peers that like, how have you, what's your secret? It's maybe you have the opportunity to impart a secret to people that you wouldn't have expected to. So it's beautiful, up and away. Share that gift, and thank you for sharing it with us and with me.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ted, may I come to you? Hello. So, I'm hearing the tone of one of the bowls that we hold close to our hearts, and it's the big one. and it's the one that has substance. And I'm seeing you just with the mallet, creating something from nothing. So it's like the tone that arises from this bowl is your mastery, and it is your expression. It's it's the part of you that that can attach to the spiritual creativity that is so deep within you, that really comes together to make you a whole person with all of your rational and reasonable and mathematical, also spiritual work. But it's this bow, it's a drone. It's not all of them together. It's like a drone, and that drone is going and going and going, and it's almost like a lifeline for you. And so Spirit's saying to and so you have one with you, or when you have one with you, of course, do that. But really, in meditation, in your life, to identify either a piece of music or something that works for you, that is this drone reminder. It's like a chant that can go on and on in your head, throughout your head, and in your heart. That as long as the drone, as long as the tone exists, you thrive. So continue to look for it, find it, and use it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Jan Kiefer.
Yes, thank you. Hi.
Jan, the words I'm hearing are Little Mary Sunshine, and I'm talking about reclaiming the role of Little Mary Sunshine, because people kind of got cynical with Little Mary Sunshine, and made fun of her and got cynical about what that would mean. However, this is a critical role in the world you operate in. It's needed. It's one that says what is most required of you is may or may not be labor, but it's your presence. It's the sunshine. It's the presence that is the help. And so I think it's just kind of a reiteration that if you don't think you're doing anything, you are, because you are there, and just being there is what Spirit has asked you to do. It could be with your kids, with your grandson, with us. Just know that whenever you are somewhere, that's where the work that you've been asked to do is being asked of you. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
So we can just call it, Little Mary Sunshine. Claim it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
I'm gonna do a few more because I can. Lauren, hello. May I come to you?
Good morning, afternoon.
Yes. It's me, so of course it's afternoon. So I'm going back to what I was talking about today. I'm going back to And Just Like That. And just like that, where is Lauren Rogers? So this is my question to you. And this is a question that has now entered into your own personal, this is your own self exploring question. Either you've had it or now you're open to it, but you're going to be feeling it now a little more intensely, even more than you have. So it's almost like you're not wishing away the stuff, as I said, that's happening in that gap, but you are helping to see the end result as your guide. So it's like, like I was saying for some of the church, like the church sometimes it's been looking a little chaotic, right? So it feels like as you approach some of these things that feel chaotic, we often say, well, I'm overwhelmed. I don't know how this is going to happen. But if we can picture in our minds, well, and just like that, on this day, it's done because there's no choice, then the universe fits in all the spaces to help it happen. So for you now, it's just really asking yourself, and just like that, where's Lauren Rogers? And maybe it's your job to figure out a date, to give yourself a date, a timeline. So, and then maybe make the question happen on a regular basis. And really let spirit answer the question. Like, don't try to plan too much. Just go in just like that. Where am I on this date or this time? Does that make sense?
Yep.
And it'll help you put both framework as well as leave open the opportunity to kind of create it in between it.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, 2 more. Sandra. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good to see you. I am seeing, I just instantly saw you. Would you like to swing on a star? Again, I'm way too young to know these songs, but maybe not. But so there you are like swinging on the star, and actually you're not swinging on it. You're being asked the question. And your answer is yes. So if you find yourself getting this question about something that feels like it is like from outer space, your answer is yes. Whatever it is. If someone's asking you the question that sounds like, or could sound as crazy as, would you like to swing on a star? Spirit's saying, just say yes, okay? It'll come to you. Someone's going to ask you that question. And if it seems wacky and it seems like that's your answer is supposed to be yes. Okay?
Okay,
Would you like to swing on the star? What do you say?
hope it's something good. Yes, of course.
It will be good, even if it sounds crazy.
Okay, thank you.
And Susie. Hello. So I started seeing a tornado like whirling up around you, and at first I thought it was going to be the Tasmanian devil, like the little character from Looney Tunes, but it wasn't. It was the do you remember the Ajax white tornado? Again, I'm too young to know these things, but you open the bottle of Ajax and that little tornado came out, and then everything was clean. So I feel like this is the idea of this opening the bottle, and the tornado is going to come out and going to just help all of it be nice and clean. It's going to feel like a tornado, but just like that, it's going to be clean and spotless. So I think the spirit is saying, it's there. Just be careful what bottle you open. Because remember, like the commercial, she had the humdrum cleaner, and then someone else handed her the bottle, and she opens up, and it's coming out. So the bottle could be in bottle 1, 2, or 3. Just choose wisely, and they're all going to be good white tornadoes, but they're going to be progressively good, better, best. So if you just pick the right bottle, you could get the best white cleaner that's going to make everything spotless for you. And you'll have to do a little less elbow grease, with each choice. Okay, so they're all going to work. It's just how much of the effort that you have to put in. Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right, Martha, real quickly. Hello. So this is kind of going back to a kind of our email conversation from earlier today. So so if Crone was like, oh, hey, welcome, I'm Guy Smiley. You're a different kind of intercessor. And I think Spirit is saying to you that, and you've always been this way, but to continue or to figure out new ways to say, hi, welcome, come on in and sit down and tell me what you're looking for. So it's the gentle role, it's the maternal role, but I think you're going to find that popping up in places that you did not expect. So you're really good at covering those bases where that might be required of you, but I think this might require something that is out of the box for you. So just be aware that that's coming. But it really is. It's about you just kind of redeploying or rethinking about that gift.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Great. And Reverend Fan, I'm just going to real quickly, and you have to come off the thing. So I just keep getting, Paris lasts forever in your heart if you allow it to. Whatever was good can stay good. You just have to just remember that. So just whatever the song you need to hear is, or whatever the memory is, just keep going back to that because it lasts forever if you allow it to. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you all so much. And I appreciate you listening and receiving, and let us conclude our service while I switch cameras. All right, so let us return to our order of service. Local service. And let us pray. O source of the living and the lived, may we draw closer to you as we discover the divinity of the gap, the sacredness of the flow, and the holiness of the in-between. May our wondrous adventure be our greatening, and may our greatening expand our understanding of your infinite presence as the space between the minute and the mammoth. And may that wondrous journey lead us to the universe within our soul, which we share as we live. And so it is. In our benediction, O divine presence, as we continue on our life's journey home to the one heart, may we always experience wonder, value kindness, cultivate empathy, promote peace, and be love, everywhere, for all things, and everyone. Amen. And so it is. Thank you all for being here. Looking forward to seeing you again, seeing you next week at our sanctuary's closing service. And let us all into fellowship and gallery view more. Say hello to everyone.
Thank
Hello.
you, Rob. Great service.
Thank you guys.
Everyone. Love everybody. Bye.
It was a great service, Rob.
Thank you, Lauren. Thank you.
Really awesome. Your joy guides must be really with you today because really
Give me a ring light and a camera, and I'm good. So
It was a really great inspirational service.
thank you guys. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it always.
Very inspirational.
Beautiful homily. Thank you. That was awesome.
Well, thank you.
Have a great afternoon, guys.
Yes.
See ya.
Gorgeous.
See you next week.
Bye-bye.
See you next
Bye,
week.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Weird.
Just like that, it was great.
Thank you.
Just like
Thank
that.
you. Well, yeah, sometimes when I'm writing it, that's what I got to tell myself in the middle of it. And just like that, it'd be great. Right? So have a great day, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.